Hey, this is Simon. We have a lot of fun with our spoiler section and we want more of you to have access. So we've added the spoiler perk to the Landed Knight tier. Follow the link to buy me a coffee in the show notes and sign up to hear the future. Thanks. Hello, welcome to the Ghost of Harrenhal. My name's Simon.
And I'm Mackelly.
Thank you for joining us for episode 317 of our chapter-by-chapter book review of A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. Today we're discussing chapter 45 of A Dance with Dragons, that is The Blind Girl.
And as always, we're going to chat about the chapter and try not to spoil any future plot points for you. Unless, of course, you have a Buy Me a Coffee sustainer tier that includes spoilers, well, then we are going to spoil things for you. Regardless, hopefully we'll provide you some entertainment along the way.
We'll summarise what happened, discuss our thoughts on it, provide some useful background, compare it to the television show, indulge in a little pedantry and cover some relevant news and listener correspondence. Be sure to check out the show notes that will provide some additional information about the characters and geography of this chapter. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself? I for a second I thought you were wearing a tie. And then I realized
it's the strap of the sling. Yeah.
You're wearing a collared button-down shirt, so I thought it was a tie.
Which I kind of have to, because I have to have a collar against this thing. Otherwise, the strap is against my neck for 50. I have to wear this for 50 days. 50.
Wow.
Who needs that against their neck this whole time?
Seriously.
Things are going great with the shoulder, but PT starts tomorrow, so...
Oh, I see.
It might not be quite so much... I'm all smiles and happiness now, but it may be...
Once they start asking you to move it around, it might
apparently, the first session with the PT, they don't ask me to do anything. They just take off the sling, and then they ask me to do nothing, and they move my arm.
Oh, okay.
And I have to not resist or help.
Okay, so, you just gotta let it happen.
Let it happen. Yeah.
Stay out
and
of the
apparently let the tears fall, because apparently it hurts quite a bit.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, that might sting a little bit. Ugh.
So my other story for the week is that my mother-in-law is not so well. She's in the hospital, so we're dog sitting for her.
Sorry to hear that.
Yes. We're fingers crossed that she's going to be okay. But we have her dog, and so Carson was visiting in the hospital with her mother, and I was at home with the dogs, and I took the dogs for a walk. And this dog is a little bit overweight and can't do as long a walk as our dogs do.
Right. Okay.
So I struggle out there with all three of them because I've only got one arm. So
that's true. Maybe you shouldn't be doing this right now.
Not the best scenario to begin with.
No, it's not.
But we get as far as our next door neighbor, and this extra dog starts pooping, or at least it's gone dark and I can't quite tell. And I don't know if you know this, Mackelly, but I don't carry my phone with me all the time.
Oh, really? I would never have guessed.
No, it's true. It's true. So I have no way of lighting up to see this. But I'm like, are you pooping? Are you pooping already? And I'm like, and the neighbor is right there. So I'm like, oh my God, I got to pick this up. I can't see anything, but my God, I can smell it.
So much like Arya, you used your other senses.
So I look and I just can't see. I'm like, what the hell did this dog do? So age old, you know this trick yourself. I pick up some leaves in the bag.
Yes, I've been there.
And I walk off with this pile of leaves in the bag. As soon as I get around the corner, I dump the leaves because I'm like, I'm not carrying around a pile of leaves for no reason. And I put the bag back in my pocket and carry on the walk. And this also goes very badly wrong because the dog just can't do the walk that we normally do. So I get like a quarter of the way and she's really dragging. So I'm like, all right, so we head back at this point.
Right.
So my dogs, neither of them get to poop because they like to poop at the halfway point of the walk. Yeah.
Right. They're particular about their spots.
Yeah, it just takes that much exercise to sort of like coax it out of them, you know. So I get back to the house and I unstrap. Actually, even before I get back to the house, she's dragging so badly and she's so overweight. She's so overweight that she's basically a triangle from the tip of her nose. She goes backwards in a perfect triangle. And She's too overweight to put any of the harnesses we have on her. So it's just the lead is just on her collar.
Okay, yeah.
But the collar has nothing to stop it sliding off her head because she is literally a cone, you know?
Yes, I'm picturing this.
So as the other two are dragging me along, she's dragging behind me. You know?
You're getting pulled apart, which is not good because you can't move your shoulder.
And eventually, exactly, I've only got one hand. And eventually, this thing pops off her head like a champagne cork. And she continues to walk on. I mean, she's a well-behaved dog, but she continues to walk alongside me, but straight down the middle of the road. I'm like,
this could end really badly here.
Yeah. Well, eventually I got all that sorted out and I got them home. But it does end badly because when I got home, I got the bag back out of my pocket of my coat to find that it was covered in poop. I hadn't missed as badly as I feared.
Karma. That's called karma.
So all I did with that poop was sprinkle it on the next neighbour's yard. And then put the thing back in my pocket. The dog must have been like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Oh wow. That's quite the situation. That's what you get for not carrying your phone around with you.
Yeah, and that's what I needed. One more thing to carry.
Well, at least you didn't have your phone in the pocket that you then put the bag in.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. The neighbor who you dumped the leaves in was like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
I don't have this type of tree or this type of animal.
Oh, I've done the fake. Penny is very small.
Yeah.
And sometimes her deposits are incredibly small
to
the point where I'm like, I can't justify wasting a bag on those little nuggets that she just left. So I've been there. Of course, I usually tend to make sure I'm far enough away that I don't.
Yeah, I mean, mine was a legitimate attempt, but I really thought I'd failed.
Oh, goodness. Well, speaking of using other senses, why don't we see about how the character in this chapter might use her senses a little better.
God, imagine if I'd been blind. Imagine the stink then. Arya would not have put it back in her pocket. She would have still been aware. Wait a second.
She would have known something is not right.
So yes, indeed. Let's get down to business. How did we leave Arya Stark? Last we saw of Arya, she was selling seafood in Bravos and trying to learn 3 things each night. She murdered Darian of the Night's Watch and reported that to the kindly man in the House of Black and White as the work of Arya Stark. But the next morning she woke to find that she was completely blind. Mackelly, why don't we give the summary of this one?
All right. Well, even though you said you're capable of typing again, you definitely did this with text-to-speech. Speech to text.
I've really learned to like it. I mean, as first drafts, it's like using AI. It's sort of like, you just blurt things out and they're on the page,
Yeah. It got the general gist down. I could definitely tell it was speech to text with some of the phrasing of things and
the real kicker of it is the turning it on and off, because what'll happen is I'll say a couple of sentences and then Lucas will ask me a question and I'll say, leave me alone, I'm working here, and then that will appear in the middle of the text.
Like, no, wait, no, that's appearing. Stop
and then you'll say, I didn't mean that, and then that gets typed and the day wears on.
Oh, well. You did a passable enough job that I
Thank you. Passable is what I'm going for.
So anyway, the blind girl can see in her dreams. She sees the stars of Westeros. She and her pack see the spoils of their hunt. Game is becoming scarcer since the snows. She is the night wolf, but only when she dreams. She wakes in her cot stiff and tight. She washes and dresses and says her usual death prayer. She makes her way to the kitchen. She's developed a mental map of the House of Black and White, but she could have just followed her nose to breakfast. As she eats, she hears sounds to indicate that someone has entered the room. She can tell from his scent that it's the kindly man. He asks who she is. She replies, "No one." But he knows it to be a lie. He offers to give her sight back, but then she'd have to leave. She demurs.
The kindly man asks for the 3 things she learned last night. Speculations as to the next Sea Lord. She's tempted to tell him that it's snowing in Westeros, but is hesitant to explain how she knows that. She offers up the news that a specific prostitute is pregnant, and that the Merling Queen has chosen a new mermaid. He, content with the 3, sends her to her duties. She takes her staff with her. The waif promised it was better than eyes once she was used to it. That's not exactly true, but it is better than nothing. Each night she's given a drink which she thinks keeps her blind. Once she asked how long she must stay blind. Until the darkness is as sweet to you as the light. Her lessons have continued, but now including how to get around as a blind girl. The waif teaches her poisons and potions. Supper is language lessons.
We'll be right back.
Hello, friends. Are you ready to make some unforgettable memories? Well, if so, consider the Marriott Bonvoy program. Discover the perfect destination for your summer getaway and unlock exclusive deals on luxurious accommodations. With our affiliate partnership, you'll enjoy unbeatable savings and a seamless booking experience. Don't let summer slip away. Visit Marriott Bonvoy today and make this vacation season one for the books. Use our Ghosts of Harrenhal affiliate page to check it all out and buy Bonvoy points or give some as a gift. The link to our page is in the show notes. In the evening, she plays the lying game with the waif. At first, it was much harder without her eyes, but then suddenly, it was actually easier. But all this learning comes with costs. She frequently bangs her shins and suffers other indignities. Her former self would have cried herself to sleep over them, but no one has no tears. One of her duties is to locate the dead bodies in the morning and then help prepare the corpses. She feels their faces and searches for wounds, wondering what brought them there. She gathers any money found on them and has learned to distinguish the coins of all the cities.
Inspecting a Westerosi golden dragon, she senses another presence in the room. She's attacked by a staff. She tries to defend herself, but her assailant is silent. She lands one blow, but is generally second best. He laughs at her and mocks her before slipping out as silently as he entered. She continues working on the bodies while reminiscing about Cat of the Canals. All acolytes of the House of Black and White are made blind at some point, but Arya's was expedited. She believes it was punishment for the murder of Darion, the Night's Watch deserter. They are death's instrument, but not man's judges.
Most evenings, she's sent out as a beggar to learn information. She's made to look ugly, but she doesn't care about that. She was always thought ugly by nearly everyone in Winterfell. Only her father and Jon told her she was pretty.
She's armed just in case, but the citizens of Braavos are generally kind to the beggars. As she heads out, she passes various temples, most of which are at prayer. She tries to avoid the places she frequented as Cat. This night she goes to Pinto's. It's not too busy, so she's able to claim a quiet corner close to the fire. She's joined by a friendly cat.
Pinto is in a good mood and gives her food and wine. He speaks to her for a while before the place gets too busy. Then 3 Lyseni sailors talk quietly in the blind girl's hearing, and through the eyes of the cat near her, she can see them. The next morning, she has 3 new pieces of information for the kindly man. A Lyseni ship came into port carrying women and children slaves from Hardhome in Westeros. As slavery is forbidden in Braavos, the ship has been impounded. The people aboard had been fooled into believing it and another Lyseni ship were going to take them to a safe place. However, as soon as the ships were out of the sight of shore, the wildlings were rounded up and put in the hold. The ship only stopped in Braavos because it was damaged in a storm. The whereabouts of the other ship is unknown. They expect to make return trips to Hardhome because the price of slaves is rising.
That counts as 2 of her 3. For her third, she says she knows that it is the kindly man who's been hitting her. Her stick flashes out and cracks against his fingers. How could she know? She says she doesn't have to tell him 4 things. But the blind girl was followed home by the cat from Pinto's. It prowled in the rafters and looks down upon them. That night with dinner, she's given her usual drink, but when she swallows it, she drops the cup. Her tongue is on fire. That night, when she wakes after her wolf dream, she sees a tallow candle burning where no candle had been the night before. She's never seen anything so beautiful.
I can imagine. That would be a pretty good feeling.
Yeah. Yep. It's like smelling my pocket after never smelling anything.
maybe not quite 1-to-1 there. I won't say apples to oranges, more like apples to something.
Poop, basically.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
This is Arya Stark, of course. We were fairly confident about this. She is having nightly wolf dreams, it seems. So she's still bonded to Nymeria. It would appear,
right?
Who continues, but it is interesting that she because of that she gets sort of like broad intel about the goings on in Westeros. I mean, this time it's just the weather, basically. Weather is the winter is coming in, snows are falling. I mean, presumably we're still in the Riverlands because that's where Nymeria abides. But because of that, game is getting more scarce, and so it's becoming more difficult for Nymeria, which again, I'm so worried about the people of Westeros because all of that land was so ravaged by war, and fields were burned left and right. It just feels like there won't be enough food for it feels like famine is going to stalk the Riverlands during this winter.
Absolutely. If we didn't know the others existed, if we hadn't had actual visuals of them, it would be very easy to believe that the long night is more of a metaphor for the fact that the people of Westeros are going to starve due to lack of food because of this war that took place at the absolute worst time.
It is actually, it's quite an astute observation of George Martin, because it does feel like in our world, the worst examples of famine and starvation are typically man-made as well, certainly exacerbated by weather conditions, which is what we've got here. But this is a man-made disaster looming.
Right. Yeah. They had plenty of time to put away enough, but because of the war, they're not going to have that same situation as they would have had otherwise. That's the benefit of a long summer, right? Is you can sock away enough to get you through the long winter, theoretically.
Right. Yeah.
But about Arya having these wolf dreams, it kind of puts her on par with Jon, except for when Jon is sleeping next to Ghost. Ghost doesn't seem to have wolf dreams when Ghost is laying next to him. Those would be really boring. I looked
just
up at myself.
Staring at himself all night. Oh, you're so handsome.
I really need to shave. Wait, is that a pimple? We don't know about Rickon, and Lady, Sansa's wolf, has died. But Jon frequently has these kind of dreams, and we know that Bran is a full-blown skin changer. And then, in this chapter, we see that Arya seems to be seeing through a cat, which is at least minor league warging.
I think so too. I think it's very noteworthy. Bran has now done that into ravens, right? That's what Bran's done. But he didn't just do it spontaneously by himself. He did it as part of his training. He's never the only two creatures that he spontaneously went into were Summer and Hodor.
Right. Yeah. So
whereas Arya just did it. She just naturally, and didn't scare the living bejesus out of the cat in doing so.
Right. So it makes you wonder, is Arya as capable as Bran when it comes to this kind of warging and such?
Very interesting, yeah.
Jon slips into Ghost so easily, but he hasn't warged any other animal that we've been made aware of.
Right.
It would be pretty neat if Jon began warging 1-1, a la Hodor and Bran. That would be something.
We'll be right back.
This episode is sponsored by Audible. To get a free audiobook, or 2 if you're an Amazon Prime member, go to our exclusive URL, audibletrial.com/ghostsharrenhal. You can find the link in our show notes.
It surely would, yeah.
Not for one it wouldn't be, but
less
for the
so.
story,
But,
for the purpose of the story, it would be a pretty neat
he has
thing
discovered the joys of drink, so perhaps you could sort of like,
Right.
get him really drunk, then take over.
That's
he may not
true.
remember it.
Yeah. What if all the Starks had stayed in Winterfell with their wolves? Would they be a whole family of wargs? Like the family that wargs together stays together? Would they have wolf battles in the yard? How would that have all played out?
I'm going to go with that. It's the situation has driven this. You know what I mean? Without their experiences, they wouldn't have had it. They would have always had it a little bit with their own wolves, but it would have always been sort of just like a dream. Like you dreamed of them, and you occasionally sort of shared their dreams, but it's only come to the fore because of what they're all going through.
And their isolation, maybe. They're all... Bran and Rickon were together for a while, but the rest have all been separated for so long.
Imagine if they all slept in the same sort of, 5 doors down from one another, and then they all had sort of wolf dreams. They would just talk about it as just being, that's part of being a Stark. We just have those dreams.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well,
I mean, pure speculation. We have no idea.
Right? Yeah. We're just throwing out that thought exercise there. But so Arya is in her wolf dream. She eats a man as Nymeria and sees nothing wrong with it as Arya. Like she's warging Nymeria, who's eating a man, and as Arya, she seems fine with this, that she ate the shepherd as well as his dogs and his sheep. It just causes more worry about her psyche. We've seen her kill multiple people face to face: the stable boy, the Harrenhal guard, the pimply squire, Darien, and now she's killing people as Nymeria. It's just really rough for someone so young as her. But maybe now that she's in the service of the House of Black and White, regardless, it's surely going to impact her relationship with death. But at least maybe she'll learn to see it as spiritual, not something done carelessly, recklessly, and without consequence.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so like you say, for a child of her age, she's way more intimately familiar with death than most people, and that ideally she ought to be. You're absolutely right about that. But then maybe that makes her a perfect candidate for the House of Black and White, and maybe, like you say, the training she's going to receive here and the sort of like the spiritual understanding of like the transition from life to death that they're going to give her may actually help to sort of like, because you and I have certainly speculated about the damage to her psyche, this may salve it somewhat.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's what I was trying to get at there.
Yeah, it's a good thought.
She still has her kill list.
And I hope so, because otherwise she's going to be a very damaged human being,
Yes. She still has her kill list, though. She starts her morning off with it every day and looks forward to the day she will hunt and kill the people on her kill list. So
yeah,
there's
definitely feels like she's not abandoning her complete self by keeping that. While she keeps that, she is not no one.
Right. And she even thinks that. She's like, that's my list. Nope. That was Arya's list. I am no one. It is not my list. But she refers to Nymeria as the Night Wolf. And I would question if she knew that she was warging Nymeria and not really just having dreams. But for one comment, and that's when she says, when the kindly man asks for 3 things and she thinks, I could tell him that it's snowing in the Riverlands, but I don't want to explain how I know that. So that makes me think she does know she's warging Nymeria and that she's actually physically in Westeros when she's dreaming.
Yes, I think that certainly reveals that. I mean, it might be some random wolf in the Riverlands, but chances are she does happen to know one wolf that lives in the Riverlands by name, so chances are it's that one.
Yes, and she refers to her little gray cousins, which makes you think she knows she is a large direwolf. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think she does know.
Yeah, her blindness is intentional, sort of in both directions. She's being she's been made blind to train her to use her other senses, and it's clearly working. She talks in the chapter about how she's learning to navigate around the House of Black and White by touch, how she smells people and she can recognize people by their smell, as soon as they enter a room. But also, I think it's to teach her a little bit of humility. That's why it was brought forward, because she clearly wasn't very humble when she took into her own hands the power of life and death over Darien of the Night's Watch.
Yeah.
But also, it is interesting that she has been offered. She clearly knows that there's an offer on the table. Anytime she wants, they'll lift the blindness from her, but that'll be the end of her training, and she'll be evicted. And she's willing to suffer this to keep the training going.
Yes, and one thing we know about Arya, she's never going to concede defeat.
No, true enough.
She will be blind for 20 years if she can emerge victorious. That she held out longer than they did.
and do you think in this case that's just sort of like the Arya stubbornness, or do you think that she really wants what she thinks she can get from the House of Black and White in terms of turning her into the kind of person who could whittle her prayer list down to zero without too much trouble?
Excellent question, and I think the answer is that second option there. I think she wants what she can get, not just that. Yeah. It's not just stubbornness. It's she wants to see this through.
But the thing about that, of course, is that it flies in the face of what the kindly man is trying to teach her.
Yes, it does.
The kindly man wants her to set all that aside. I mean, he's not going to give her the training until she convinces him that she's there for the right reasons. That's a very bachelor thing to say, by the way. Oh, they have the right reasons. And the right reasons in this case are not to become a fantastic world famous assassin just to get revenge on your enemies. That's not the right reasons.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yes. When he explains to her the philosophy behind not just the killing for mercy, that was the first of their order, killed the slaves for mercy for those slaves. Then he killed a slave owner for the slave's sake. And the point of the story was that it's not up to us to decide who lives and dies. We serve the many-faced God. The first of our order thought this person is so fervent in their prayers about this man, his owner dying. I think the many-faced God would approve of this. And so he killed that owner. He asks Arya, do you get the point of what I'm trying to make here? And she thinks in her head, no. But she says out loud, yes.
Yes. And he says, you're lying.
Right.
So, but well, let me just interject. What I was going to say there was, but that's the thing. He's so acutely aware of when she is telling the truth and lying that it seems strange that he's not going to see through her ongoing ruse.
Yes. And that makes me wonder. I wonder about both ends here. Why speed up the training in order to... She's been made blind significantly sooner than your average person going through this training. Why was that? She thinks it's punishment. I'm not so sure that it was punishment necessarily. I think he thought this one needs to move to the second phase because she is killing people just, on a... without even thought being put into it. So we need to start, they need to start stripping away those kind of thoughts. So they take her eyesight, but then why do they give it back? Just because she identified him as the person who's been hitting her attacker, basically.
Maybe that was always the challenge. Maybe that was the you get your sight back when you figure out who's attacking you. Because she says she recognizes his smell when he walks in the room, but she didn't recognize his smell when he attacked her. So he is able to mask himself from her entirely when he wants to, but not from the cat.
Right. Yes. But the thing is he must still know she is not mentally ready for the next level. You know, she may have passed the test. He may think she parsed it out because she used all the right skills and senses and all that. She obviously doesn't know about the cheat sheet that was in the rafters.
Yeah.
But if they took the eyesight to teach her humility and start to get her to understand what the objective of the faceless men in the House of Black and White is, I don't think she's passed that test yet.
Yeah. It may be, of course, that he's seeing her as, this one is never going to be a true acolyte of the faith, but she could be a really useful tool. She could be one of the best faceless men we've ever had, especially if I can expedite her through this so that she's only 12 years old when she graduates.
Yeah.
Because imagine how many places that person could go more easily than a Jack and Hagar could go, even if he can change his face. You know, she's a child. She can sneak into things that he wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does.
But I don't know. I mean, it's all guesswork. I will say she is becoming an incredibly rounded young woman. I mean, setting aside the damage we think has been done to her, her fighting skills are obviously improving. Her lie detecting, which you know is a particular passion of my own.
That's right.
Her ability to tap all her senses. The language skills. She's learning, multiple languages every evening. She's now conversational in Bravos, but for a Westerosi accent. She's learning High Valyrian. She said that she's learned some dialects of
Pentosi and Lys, I think.
Yeah. Her ability to gather intel is very useful as well. I mean, she's faceless in the sense that she's a beggar, and so people don't really pay attention to her. But that ability to sort of like become a wallflower to hear things that people don't intend for you to hear, and that she is just not afraid of death. I mean, she's going out as a blind person, a blind child into this city, and she's not afraid. Yeah, she's got some weapons to protect herself, but there's no sense. At no point did she go, "Oh my God, here I go again," gulp, like I would have done.
Yeah, especially since she's being sent out into a city with so many canals that she could so easily just fall into and never be seen or heard from again.
If I were her, I'd be cat of the bottom of the canals.
And one thing I appreciate that the kindly man is teaching her is learning fact from opinion, because multiple times when he asks her for her 3 facts, she gives opinion, such as that the new mermaid that the Merling Queen has brought onto her staff or whatever is lovely, and the kindly man says, "You don't know that. You can't see her." So
haven't seen her, and you're blind.
But so that, I mean, as someone who went to journalism school, that learning fact from opinion was a very important skill that we learned in our own training. So I appreciate that he is doing the same here.
It does appear to be a dying art, Mackelly.
Yes, it does. Believe me, it sure does.
So all of this made me wonder, just because of how, like I said, I mean, she's becoming like, what do they call it in baseball where you've got all the tools?
5-tool player.
The 5-tool. She's a 5-tool player. Is she being groomed? And let me be clear here, not by the House of Black and White, but by George Martin to be a contender for the Iron Throne, because she'll be a super person by the time she gets to 17 at the current rate of progress.
True. Yeah. Well,
I don't know what her claim would be. Seems pretty distant.
That would be the issue, is the claim. So I don't know about whether the Iron Throne, but I certainly think she's being groomed for more than for the purpose of the story, I hope she's being groomed for more than just becoming a faceless man who, does this as a profession for the next however many decades.
Yeah.
Possibly she's being constructed as a candidate for Azor Ahai, the hero of heroes of legend,
Ooh, interesting.
I don't know that any of the prophecy fits with her, but
You know what? We can shape the prophecy to fit what's going on.
Yes, certainly we can.
We're the Melisandre of podcasting.
At the very least, that's right. I see much and more in Arya's future. At the very least, maybe she is being constructed to be the angel of revenge for House Stark. Like you said.
Yeah.
Chopping down that death wish list.
Yeah.
Nightly prayer that she has one by one.
Which of course is where the TV show took her. But
right.
That doesn't necessarily mean that's where the book is going to go,
Yeah.
I think there'll be a bit of that. I suspect there'll be a bit of it, but maybe that's just the tip of the iceberg of what she can become.
Yeah. Hopefully we find out someday.
Yeah. I do think she might be George Martin's favourite character.
Yeah?
I'm not sure he's ever speculated on that, or he's ever expressed that, but there's something about the way he writes her that makes me think she's his favourite.
Her and Tyrion, I would put at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Not Brienne. Poor Brienne. He's always doing really.
He probably has a buddy called Brienne somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put some indignities on you, my friend. So, the day we spend with Arya, she finds two bodies. One is a young man with no apparent injuries, and the second is an old woman. The man has Westerosi coins, and this apparently has stoked speculation about who these bodies might be. I have nothing to say here, Mackelly. Why don't you take over?
I personally think they're just random people, but there are some fan theories out there, such as we've got a wrinkly elderly woman and a smooth-faced young
Arya's
man.
old enough to tell the difference between a man and a woman, right? It's not Aemon.
That's a great question. I don't think so.
Was it just one person and she got it mixed up?
Especially since Aemon died at sea, so I think we're
Oh,
safe
that's
here.
right. Did he? I thought
he died on the Cinnamon Wind.
On the way out of Bravos?
Yeah, well, they were on their way to Old Town.
Oh, I thought he died while they were still in Bravos.
He almost did. He was failing quickly.
My memory is terrible, Mackelly. I don't even knew that. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it.
I'll have to keep that in mind as we go through this.
So he even died?
He even died, yeah. Well, so there are some theories.
Maybe that's what washed it away. Maybe. He died a man, but some sea creature turned him into a lady.
Well, so some of the theories are that these two are Olenna and Loras Tyrell, which means a lot of things. For one thing, it means the news that we had received from Dragonstone that Loras Tyrell had been terribly burned and was mortally wounded are completely false, because she inspects this body and it is
and there's
without
nothing wrong with it.
blemish.
Yeah.
Right. So that would mean that news was
there's no
false.
wound apart from all of these burns and previous scars, right? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, glossing over that, there is no wounds. And Olenna, I mean, theoretically, I guess we haven't heard. We don't know exactly the state of Olenna at the end of Feast.
I have a couple of problems with this. I have quite a lot of problems with all fan theories, but this one in particular, neither of them are dead.
Well, that's the thing. So theoretically, what we've been told anyway is that Loras is dying, but he no longer fits the description of this man if he is dying and the way we think he's dying.
They have no connection to Bravos. Yeah,
it would have to be a situation where someone kidnapped them and took them to the House of Black and White. I don't know that it's worth the time that we're dedicating to this particular theory.
This is undermining other fan theories to me.
Another theory is that the younger man, is Tyrek Lannister, who disappeared in the riot of King's Landing and presumed dead.
Yeah.
Now he does have golden curly locks, and this man had curly hair, so theoretically that fits. But that's about where the theory about as far as it can go, as far as I know, unless there's more to it that I'm not aware of.
I guess George Martin at some point he just like puts randos into the story just to see what the fan speculation will go with.
Yeah, maybe he does it, and if he likes it enough, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna go with this. Actually.
I mean, he's given it enough time to marinate anyway.
So again, personally, I think these are just two random people. It is the Westerosi coins in the man's possession that has caused people to conjecture as such.
So for Arya to go begging, the waif makes her up into an unrecognizable fashion. She shaves her head, adds a mummer's mole, makes her ugly. None of this bothers Arya because she's never been thought pretty anyway, so it's not like it doesn't hurt her to go out looking like this, but she doesn't know what she looks like.
Right.
But is this what the faceless men have to go through, or do they have better skills than this? Is this just...
Yeah.
Is this
right.
an acolyte version of what the faceless men do?
Right. Do they are just a simple mummer's trick?
Yeah.
Like
it's sort of disappointing if that's true, but at the same time,
I know.
I like the realism of it.
So the waif creates it's the waif. She creates a pox scars and a hairy mole. It feels like the faceless men would have a more sophisticated method than what the waif is creating here with the marks and the moles. But at this point, we don't know. So we'll have to see if we find this out.
You like to imagine that when Jaqen H'ghar changes his face, it's more than just, hey, I can tell you're Jaqen with a pair of glasses on. You know?
He's got that with the big nose and the mustache.
Exactly.
One thing I like about the description in this chapter is that George Martin adds a karaoke bar to Bravos. Did you pick up on that?
I did not. Go on.
In the Outcast Inn, the patrons themselves do the singing terribly and drunken and terribly, and I thought, oh, that's pretty neat. He's got a karaoke bar.
That's exactly what it is, yeah.
Bravos.
I didn't even think of that, but that's exactly what that is, yeah. So the two Lyseni ships that were taking slaves from Hardhome ran into trouble in the Narrow Sea, and we don't know what happened to one of them, but one of them was so damaged it had to stop in Bravos, where it knew it was going to be in trouble because slavery is illegal, and it clearly had a hold full of slaves, and so it got impounded.
Yes.
They were saying that the risk was worth it to them because the price of slaves has gone up. Makes a lot of sense because slavery has been interrupted by Dany's new rules in Slavers Bay. Potential problem for Jon if the people of Hardhome discover what's happened to their compatriots who left. When he sends his 11 ships, they might be less keen to get on board.
Very true.
I thought about it, and then I was like, well, how would they ever know?
How would they?
If one of them went to the bottom of the sea and the other one slept up in Bravos, they're never going to hear this.
Unless the Bravasi send them back to Hardhome, which doesn't... I don't know what they will do with all these. So it is all women and children that were collected on this ship. I don't know what will become of them. Now, I will say Mother Mole was right, but for the wrong reasons. She claimed that ships were going to come and rescue them from Hardhome and take them to a warmer place. Well, Lys and Bravos are warmer than Hardhome.
True.
But she missed the part about being sold into slavery.
Yeah.
So, and they're only women and children that were taken. So, Lys is known for its bed slaves and pillow houses. Remember, Dorea, one of Dany's handmaids, came from a pillow house in Lys. So, I can never get it right, Lise or Liss. I go back and forth. I think I've done it every time I've said the word. I've said it differently.
You've said it both ways.
Yes.
And then talked about how you can't decide how to pronounce it. Yeah. But it's definitely Lyseni.
Yes, Lyseni. That I say.
You don't say Lyseni. You
no,
say
I don't
Lyseni.
think so. Yes, I think I got that one.
Maybe
down.
maybe that clues you into what you should say for the town.
True. Yes. Now that I think about it. Yeah, might
Throwing
be
it out
onto
there.
something there. But I guess my point was, I wonder if they only took women and children because they would be easier to manage. There'd be less likely of a revolt on the ship, or if they took them because Lys is known for bed slaves, pillow houses.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very pleasant to speculate on the value of slaves, but I mean, one would assume that children have some advantage in that they have a long life ahead of them.
True.
So you've got more years of their slavery. The women, obviously, there's the sexual aspect, but you would think there would be value in a strong guy. So maybe,
right?
I don't know. But like you say, it's definitely easier to corral women and children on a ship than it would be if you took a bunch of wildlings armed to the teeth.
Right.
Do you think, when the dead rise north of the wall and come back as whites, do you think it might be like a virus? Could these people have brought it with them to Bravos?
Oh, that would be a fascinating twist if that was the case. I don't think that's the case because I think the others are turning them using some sort of others magic. But
that's my question. Do you have to die at the hands of an other in order to become a white? Because it felt like the implication was if you died north of the wall, you would rise again, or you could rise again. Now maybe it's a post-mortem touch from an other brings you back.
Right. Yes,
okay.
I think that's the case. I think you don't necessarily have to be killed by an other. I think if you die north of the wall, the others can.
I guess what you mean is if you die and an other touches you, which could be south of the wall.
Could be.
Fortunately for now, is only north of the wall.
Right. Exactly. So good distinction.
What I'm saying is the Lyseni ships need to round up the women, children, and hey, Blue Eyes, not you.
Not
stay
you.
Here.
Keep them off the ship.
Exactly.
Well, hopefully John can rescue the remaining wildlings at Hardhome before the Lyseni. What it would require is either the other Lyseni ship, which I believe was called the Elephant, making it back to Lys and reporting, hey, there's a whole bunch of wildlings just waiting up there. Or the sailors, like the three that Arya was listening to, simply carry that message back.
Yeah, it's also interesting what's happening in terms of the impounding, because those sailors were free to go to the pub and chat about it.
I thought that same thing.
Yeah. Shouldn't they be arrested and, aren't they part of the...
I guess maybe just the captain and the management staff was arrested, and the rest were just doing what they were told.
I hear you.
As their argument, anyway.
So, finally, Arya has the curse or blessing of blindness lifted from her, and she's obviously going to be thrilled and delighted. She's never seen anything as beautiful as the candle that's burning by the side of her bed when she wakes up. Like we say, this all seems very expedited. I think there is a sense in this chapter that she spent quite a long period blind. She learned a lot of things in that time. So it can't have been just a couple of weeks. It has to be several months, I think.
I would think so. This is our first Arya chapter since A Feast for Crows. So you'd think the amount of time from the beginning of, the two stories run parallel, so it's really hard to tell. Yeah. So forget all that.
But like you say, if she is being fast tracked, well, she's on to the next phase now, whatever the next phase might be,
right.
And like facial changing 201,
right, whatever that class consists of.
Set aside your mama's moles. It's time for some spoilers. remember, you can join us at the upper tiers of the Buy Me a Coffee Sustainer levels and get the spoilers. And of course, there's a 7-day free trial if you want to test it out. All right, excellent. Well, those are good spoilers. Thank you very much.
Certainly.
It's time for Mackelly's background.
Okay.
Hit us.
Well, unfortunately, there's not much to go on that hasn't already been
This was a thin
discussed.
one. And I read this, I couldn't think of a thing for you to say.
Yeah, the kindly man tells of the first of their order recruiting the second, but we've already discussed how the first began offering the gift of merciful death to the slaves of Valyria. So today, I'm going to quickly talk about a church that Arya passes on her way to Pintos. She mentions the cult of starry wisdom. Of course, within the congregation, it's known as the Church of Starry Wisdom. The religion is actually popular in many of the port cities in the known world. The religion gets its name from what appears to have been a meteorite. The story begins with a legendary figure called the Bloodstone Emperor from a legendary realm known as the Great Empire of the Dawn in the far east of the known world. This realm is where some believe the birth of true civilization began. Well, the Bloodstone Emperor was the 9th and last emperor of this realm. To reach emperor status, he killed his sister, who became empress when their father died. Some say that betrayal actually brought on the Long Night. Anyway, it's said that his rule was terrible. Reports include cannibalism, necromancy, torture, and enslaving his own people. So, how does this charmer fit into the origins of the Church of Starry Wisdom? Well, I'm about to tell you. At some point along the way, the emperor cast aside the traditional gods of the realm to worship a black stone that had fallen from the sky, making him the first high priest of the Church of Starry Wisdom. Needless to say, some feel the Church of Starry Wisdom has a sinister reputation.
Mostly because of him, less by the object, which is obviously a meteorite of some
Right.
sort. Right, yeah. Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
I think
Oh,
so.
Good find, honestly.
I was so glad when I found that. I was like, I've got something! Yes!
So in comparison with the television show, Arya is blind for a while, and she basically, all of her beatings come out in the streets while she's begging. The waif comes with her staff
Yes.
and beats the
right.
snot out of her on a regular basis. And like the kindly man, she often asks her questions and like hits her every time she lies, which is because it's Arya. It's pretty much every time she opens her mouth. And then you see her sort of sniffing potions and poisons and things. And of course, the kindly man is replaced by Jack and Hagar in the TV show.
Yeah.
So then it sort of transitions into she's talking to the waif in the House of Black and White, and the waif is really pressing her on Arya Stark's history, and whenever she twists her own history, she gets another whack with the staff for her things. And it's basically her eventually telling the 100% truth is what gets her sight back. But it's actually to Jack and Hagar, not to the waif. So it's kind of like the waif is getting her to that point where she can tell the truth. So she does come clean. She didn't abandon her night prayers. So that bit was kept.
Right. Yeah, I did remember that it was the waif that was doing the whacking with the stick.
She, the waif, the actress who played the waif, was a significant part of Andor, the Star Wars show.
Oh, yes. Yes, she was, which I loved that show. Absolutely loved it.
I loved
Both
it too. It
seasons.
was really good. Yeah.
I tell people about that show all the time, and I get pushback because people think it's a Star Wars show. And I try to explain there's not one lightsaber, there's not one Sith. It is just a really great human story about people. Some of them just have day jobs, you know?
Yeah. And the funny thing about it was that on paper it had no interest. It was a spin-off of a minor character in a prelude to the movies that I cared about. I was like, well, how would I possibly watch this? How could it possibly be of interest to me? But it was
agreed.
It was so perfectly done. It really was.
It really was. And yeah, I watched Rogue One after I finished the 2 seasons, and I was like, they made that out of this?
Yeah.
It was so much better than that movie.
Yeah. And the movie was fine. I didn't dislike the movie, but yeah, the show is. I mean, it's a tour. Given what you had, it is an absolute tour de force of taking a. Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of world building, like George Martin's done, like Star Wars did. You know, you've got this thing, and now you can populate it with interesting stories. And this is just, if you spend the time to make a good story, you know, like the early seasons of Game of Thrones were like this, you know, just like so good.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's weird because some of the Star Wars shows are not good at all. And you think, how is this one so great?
Yeah.
Anyway, we've gotten a bit off task.
No, I know. But one of my favorite memes was something along the lines of like, I am no longer going to watch anything from this universe that doesn't relate to Andor.
Right. Just have spin-offs of that.
Right, exactly. Pedantry. I couldn't find any pedantry here. Elle was good, you know. I mean,
yeah, me either.
Yeah. News and notes.
Well, we've been on a bit of a dearth with news and notes lately,
we
but
have.
Today
it's been thin.
We have 2 bits of news that are both very exciting. We have 2 new Buy Me a Coffee sustainers.
Oh, fantastic.
Literally, someone. I think Buy Me a Coffee gives me that when someone didn't put their name. Because this is not the first someone that we've had.
Which really fits with the book, honestly. It feels like it's channeling the book.
Right, it should say no one.
No one.
Well, someone has joined us at the Squire tier, so
welcome,
thank you, someone. Yes, thank you. And Christina, we actually do have a name here, has joined us at the Knight of the Realm tier. So,
welcome, Christina. Yes. Thank you ever so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you both so much. We look forward to our interactions with you both.
Yeah. Get on the Discord server. Do you know if Christina's on the Discord server?
I don't
okay,
know.
Christina, join us on the Discord server. We'd love to meet you.
Yes.
All right, let's conclude this one. So, the first Arya chapter in A Dance with Dragons, this is chapter 45, and it's the first Arya chapter. I went back and did a count. I think it's 59 chapters or 53 chapters since we've had an Arya. Probably the longest break we've ever had for a character.
Really?
It will probably be matched when the released wins catch up. But, you know,
right.
I'm going to keep saying it.
Yeah. Although I think last time you said it was in spoilers, so only a small portion of the audience gets that joke.
Good. For them, the released wins was fresh.
Well, I'll say this about Arya. She's being trained to be an incredibly versatile, well-rounded, I don't even want to say assassin, because there's so much more. She's learning much more. All these things can be applied to being assassin, but they can also be applied to so many other tasks.
I wonder, just trying to put myself in the mind of George Martin, if he doesn't know, he's just giving her these skills, you know, and sort of like thinking, where can I take this now, you know, and it actually doesn't have an end point in mind.
That could be. Yeah. He's given her so much here.
Yeah.
She's can do, by the time she finishes all this, she could do nearly anything. Yeah. She could go to the Citadel and teach languages if she wanted.
Right. And to a certain extent, he's done the same for Bran. I mean, who knows where Bran could go? You know, Bran's got enormous potential as well. So it must be exciting to write, you know, to be the creator of this and to feel these potentials and like, and then it must also be kind of like dispiriting to make a choice.
Right, because then you're limiting it down. You're like, this is what I've decided to do with all these possibilities.
I think I've told you before the story of when Lucas was born, we didn't know what his gender was going to be until he was born. So we had girls' names and boys' names picked out. And when he was born, I was thrilled, obviously. But also a little bit of me sort of went, oh, all those little girl names that I had in mind they're gone.
Right, yeah.
She's also, I mean, as well as the things she's learning, she's also able to warg to more than just Nymeria. And, in many ways, she's the most impressive warger because she's doing it all by herself.
True.
She's doing it across oceans.
Oh,
she's doing it to animals who seem completely fine with her doing it. She's quite the skills she's developing.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought about the fact that Bran hadn't really warged anyone other than Summer and Hodor to up until he started to get training. There's other instances that I'm forgetting, but off the top of my head, I can't think of any other instances.
Neither can I.
But the poor wildlings who trusted Mother Mole ended up being taken as slaves, and at least these ones here who ended up in Braavos was founded by escaped slaves, so they are very much against slavery. So they don't have to fear that while they're in Braavos. I don't know what's going to happen to them. I don't know if they will start new lives in Braavos, or if they... Yeah. I doubt they would try to make it back to Hardhome.
That's not a good look for anyone.
They left for a reason.
Yeah, but whatever fire they've fallen into is probably better than the frying pan they were in.
Agreed.
Next week, we're back to Winterfell for a chapter entitled A Ghost in Winterfell. Interesting.
Oh, should we change our show name just for that episode?
I don't know. Feels like he's copying us.
Uh-huh.
There's 3 ways that you can help us. You could leave a 5-star rating and a positive review, or you could buy us a cup of Arbor Gold at buymeacoffee.com/ghostharrenhal. Join us there as a sustainer. There's a tier to match your budget and interest, as both Christina and someone did. The upper tiers get you the spoilers. And of course, you can try any tier for free for 7 days. Or you can just donate directly to our cause through our website, ghostsofharrenhal.buzzsprout.com.
And if you're looking for more ways to interact with us, well, one thing you could do is you can send us a text. The link is at the top of every episode's show notes. Just please keep in mind we have no means of responding, but we do enjoy reading them. If you're looking to keep up on the latest Ghosts of Harrenhal news and developments, well, you can always check us out on our social media. You can follow us on Twitter at Ghost Harrenhal, or on Facebook, Instagram, Discord, and YouTube.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.